Make your own test. That's a deal that's cheap at twice the price, isn't it? Indeed. So this is instructions for how to make your own test. Okay, there are instructions that are already posted on the hub, so you can see them there. I'm going to go through them with you. The first thing is that you're going to be creating 4 multiple choice questions. Each question is to be based on concepts in a specific section of Chapter 4 of our textbook. You're going to choose 4 of the sections. Okay, let's look at that right here. Here is the first page of the chapter, and you can see the sections listed. So you'll choose 1 from each section. Okay, first off, you don't have to choose all of them, just 4 questions, but they need to be from one of these sections, one of these lessons. We did not do 4.8, so don't choose 4.8. And 4.6 is not new concepts, it's applications. So don't choose it. So you can choose from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. 4 of those, pick whichever ones you want, doesn't matter. Choose 4 sections and going to write one question per section. When you write your question, would you please put the section number with it? That'll help me. This is going to be a bear to grade, and that'll help me just a little bit, and I appreciate it. So if your first question is 4.2, then put the number as 4.2. That way, I'll know you're doing, 4.2, and it'll make it easier. One less thing I have to do, because, like I said, this is going to be a real bear to grade. Okay. Each question must require at least 3 steps to solve properly. Okay. So as you work through it, 3 steps needed. Now, they don't have to be big, huge steps, but it's got to be 3 different steps. It can be more. Hey, you want to put 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 steps? Sure, but, ooh, that sounds like a lot of trouble, so maybe not. At least 3. 3 is fine. Answer choices. Okay, please do the answer choices the way I ask you to do them. You're going to learn something to help you about this with how tests are made, and I think it'll help you later on with working with tests. Okay? So, first off, you're going to write the questions and the answers. So your answer choice A should be wrong, incorrect. The reason it should be wrong, however, is that you skipped a step. Okay, so for example, if in it you were supposed to add 3, multiply by 2, and then take the square root. So you were supposed to add 3, multiply by 2, and take the square root. Okay, well, what if you forgot to multiply by 2, and all you did was add 3 and then take the square root? Okay, it would be wrong. However, the answer choice for A should be the answer that you got if you worked it correctly, except that you skipped the step. Okay? So if you added 3, forgot to multiply by 2, and then took the square root, that number that you get ought to be the answer choice for answer choice A. So what we have in here, they're all going to be plausible choices, plausible wrong choices. For example, if the question is, why is triangle ABD congruent to triangle FKG? The answer would not be the moon is full. Okay? They need to be plausible right answers. One that somebody might actually pick. Okay. So answer choice A because you skipped a step. Whoever the testee, the person taking the test, skipped a step, and having skipped the step and worked everything else correctly, the answer that they get should be the choice for A. And you are to explain in detail the mistake that the testee would have made and the probable circumstances leading them to choose this answer. Okay. Answer choice B is also wrong, incorrect. But it needs to be incorrect because the testee misunderstood a concept, the one that was new in the section that you're dealing with. Okay, say for example, if you're dealing with 4.1 and 4.1 is triangle sum theorem, the angles add up to 180. Well, maybe they thought they were supposed to add up to 360. Okay, because that's a circle and that sounds good, so why not? Okay, it's 180. So your answer then should be what they would get if they worked the whole problem correctly, except they understood it was supposed to be 360. So the answer would be that they get everything else correct except they said 360. Okay? Again, you're to explain in detail the mistake they would have made and the probable circumstances leading them to choose this answer. Okay. Answer C is also wrong. Wrong, incorrect. This is duh. They just made a dumb mistake. So you're supposed to craft the question so it might be what they'd choose if they made a calculation error, or it doesn't have to be numbers. It can be any old kind of duh moment. So for example, if they're supposed to start with 4 and multiply by 5, well, they should get 20, right? But what if they added it and got 9? Duh, okay? So then that answer choice should be otherwise correct, except that they did 4 plus 5 and they were supposed to do 4 times 5, okay? So that's a real dumb mistake. And again, you got to explain why and how it works out. Answer choice D should be correct. Work it out and explain it. Okay. So for each answer choice, to reiterate, you're to cite the supporting reasons, such as theorems and constructions and properties and postulates and all that kind of stuff. All calculations must be explained. You write them out in math terms. I'm not saying that. Write it all out, 4 plus 5, whatever. And but go ahead and explain it. Like, just tell me that you mean the distributive property, right? Distributive property when you do it, okay? Yeah. Everything must be explained, good grammar, no bare calculations. Notice the font options available in the Word document and use it. For example, it's got superscript. So put x squared, don't put x caret 2. Write it to look as nice as you can. This is the video. It's not posted yet, but it will be, I hope. Okay, all of your test questions and answers must be provided in the hub. No attachments. Can I attach things, miss? No, you cannot attach things. It's got to be right there on the Word document that's in the hub. It'll make a copy of it, you type it in. Okay, you don't have to, you can cut and paste into it as long as it's in that document. You can write it someplace else, cut and paste in. Diagrams are just fine. However, they can't be in a separate document. It has to be in the Word document. Okay? So as long as you can get it in there, either by drawing it or by some other fashion, that's fine. Now, you don't have to have diagrams. Another way that you can do it is that you could describe it really well so that the person can draw it. For example, you'd say, you would tell them to draw a triangle ABD congruent to triangle FKB. And then they'd have to know which ones were the corresponding angles and all that kind of stuff. Or you could tell them to draw 3 parallel lines in a transversal, whatever. Okay, if you're going to do that, that's a good way to do it. It actually makes it sometimes a stronger question. Sometimes not, just depends. But if that's the way you want to do it, I would strongly urge you to give it to somebody, maybe your big brother, maybe not your kid sister who's 3, but someone who might be able to read it, or another classmate, and ask them to draw it. Now, you don't explain anything, you don't say any words, you just hand them or give them the description that you've got of how to draw it and see how they draw it, to see if they draw it what you thought. Because this writing test questions is not as easy as it might seem. Because you're real clear on what you're saying, but is the person who reads it, are they knowing it real clear? So if you're going to do that, particularly with diagrams, then you need to probably test run it on somebody. And you can test run the questions on anybody you want. Ollie's barking. I'm sure he'd be glad to eat it for you, but he probably won't be able to draw it for you because he's not that good at drawing things.
Make your own test. Pretty good thing. Can be fun too. I want to talk a little bit about the possibility of plagiarism. Yeah, I know y'all could do stuff, but you're not going to. Y'all are a good group. And I just want you to be aware of things that might happen on that so that you'll know. So you'll be forewarned. Forewarned is forearmed. Okay. The submission on the hub will be subject to a plagiarism filter. That means it's going to check. Now, I know some of these old ones, like if you'd like changed one word, then it wouldn't catch it. Well, this one is a pretty good plagiarism filter. It's better than others that I've seen, and it does a really good job. Let me tell you what it does. It'll compare your work to every other person on the hub that submitted something, and it will also compare it to the internet. So like for a class, if I say, go ahead and get this class ready, it might take an hour and a half or 2 hours to do it. When's the last time you saw a search that took that long? Well, it does, and what it does is it gives me a report back. It says, Johnny's answer has a 12% correlation to Susie's answer. And it gives me exactly what in Johnny's is that it sees is really similar to that in Susie's. It gives me each side of it for me to look at it there, and it says there's a 12% correlation. You know what, there's going to be correlation between y'all because you're going to all talk about triangles. You're all going to talk about angles and all that kind of stuff. 12% isn't much. And I'll sit there and I'll read and I'll say, no, they're just talking about the same thing. That's not plagiarism. So it will compare to every other student and to the internet. And it'll give me from the internet at mathisfun.com, it says this. And this is what Frederick said, okay, or whoever, right? And it'll show me exactly what each one said, and then I make the decision as to whether or not, or check it out or talk to you or whatever if I need to. Please, let's just don't even get to the point where you need to be talked about it. Y'all are all bright. You are all capable. Show me what you can do. Show me how you know geometry. Show it to me and have fun doing it, okay? And then there won't be any problem. I don't want to have any problem. I just wanted to tell you that this is a possibility and that it is going to be checked that way. So if you have that little voice that sometimes comes into your head that says, oh, it won't hurt just this one time. Yeah, no. Don't even start with that. If there's been other times that you started with it, then, decide not to, okay? Yeah, all right. Sometimes I know, particularly in a 13 or 14-year-old body, that it seems like, well, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it does. It's who you are. It's integrity. It's honesty. And I know sometimes it seems like it's not cool or that it doesn't matter, but it does. It matters a lot. So I hope that each of you will choose honesty, choose integrity.
Okay, getting diagrams for your test. You don't have to do them, remember, but if you want to, you can make your own and take a picture of it. You can just draw it all out however you want here, okay? Mark it however you want. Take a picture, label it up, however you want to do it, okay? Take a picture and get it in there. Now, my understanding is you can get it in there from the image, insert image, and you can do it if it's as a PNG on your computer. You can probably do it directly from your phone, and your friends probably have 14 more ways to do it that are better than that. So ask around and get it done. You can get it in that way. If you happen to tick one off the internet, that's okay, but say where you got it from. Now, I'm not requiring a full formal site like they make like you got to do in English class. Just, be honest and respectful about it and tell where you came from. And so if you got this triangle, say this excellent triangle right here, if it came from, say, clipart.com or something like freeclipart.com or something like that, just put in there where it came from, okay? That way you're not claiming that you did it yourself and you're giving credit to who credit is due. Now, if it's one of those sites want you to pay for it, either pay for it or don't use it, okay? Now, some ideas. How are we going to figure out? What are you going to do? Okay, how am I going to get ideas to do my question? Well, You can kind of look through the book. Don't do anything exactly that's in there. Look through your workbook. Look at life.
Well, I'm just here walking around the house looking for things that might be a geometry problem. And I'm looking here at this front door. This is a front door. It's stained glass that my mother made. God rest her soul. My mother made this stained glass. And, I'm thinking, there's got to be some geometry problems in there. Triangles and funny looking things. And I see all kinds of transversals and parallels. When you walk around your house or down your street, I bet you can find some too. Why don't you give that a go? Well, here I'm again walking around the house looking for geometry problems. This is the bathroom. There's this towel hanging up there to dry. The sides of the towel are parallel. And wonder what this piece hanging out over here. This piece over here, see how it's hanging crooked? I wonder if it's the same crooked on both sides. Like, for example, I wonder if this triangle here, see that triangle there? I wonder if that's the same as the triangle hanging off over there. I bet that could be a geometry problem to prove that this triangle is or is not congruent to that triangle over there. I wonder if it would dry faster if it was hanging differently. Good question.
Okay, still walking around the house looking for more ideas for how to do my geometry problems. Okay, well, there's the dog. That's Ollie. And I'm looking, they're building this house, this monster house next door to me. Look at that scaffolding. They're bricking up the side of the building right now. And, I'm looking at that scaffolding and I'm seeing bunches of parallel lines, perpendicular lines. Oh, looky there. I'm seeing some transversals. Geometry is all around you at life. Just open your eyes and walk around and look at it. And you can figure out all kinds of interesting things. And as you do that, you'll get better at looking at the world. You'll get better at analyzing it. And we're going to make a bunch of engineers and artists and all kinds of other types of also interesting people out of y'all. Okay? So open your minds and find all these things in life. Okay?
Okay, so why do we have tests at all anyway? To make the kids sweat? Well, I guess there's that, but not generally. Why do we have tests? We have tests because they're really good for you to help you learn it and to solidify your learning. So if you work on it, you practice it again, and then you put it all together at the end from start to finish from the unit, you get an idea in your head well set as to what's happening with this concept. That's why we do it, because I want you to know it a couple of decades from now when you need it. Geometry is exceedingly useful in life, and I want it to be there in your head that you can go Google it somewhere and find it. No. I want you to know it. I want you to think. I want you to innovate. This will help you do that. And this test is weird. Yeah, it's weird, but I'm just really kind of tired of all this multiple guess stuff. And when I can't see you all the time in the classroom, I want to make sure you really know it. And this will help me do that. It'll give you a chance to take all these different things that we're learning about triangles and put them together and see how it applies. Remember, geometry came from life. It does. And I want you to see how it goes with it. So hopefully, as you're putting this all together, that you'll get a good idea and you'll be good and strong on it. Remember, give me something interesting, but remember, follow the criteria. Make sure you do all the criteria so you can get all the grade, because this is going to be a major grade. So put your best effort into it, and but also have fun. I hope you do.